Roshan and Mrunal from me, Hrishi K, and everybody at Radio 1. Thank you for talking to us.
Hello, Hrishi. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Mrunal, how are you?
Hrishi, I'm so happy to see you.
I'm going to start with the fact that, you're always so good with kids. Your career started off being a huge kid icon, and nothing much seems to have changed on that front as far as the kids are concerned. They love you, you love them. You have two of your own. And does that happen with you naturally? You gravitate towards kids and you're able to just talk to them at their level. You're dynamic with kids.
I think we all have a child inside us, all. And it's a constant battle that our subconscious keeps having of suppressing the vulnerability that we all have inside us. It is basically that child inside us that has been admonished and told not to behave like a kid, not to cry, not to be vulnerable, not to desire, not to not to have any self-worth, basically. And I think that is where the nation, the generations need to focus on if you want to bring about change. And I take it as a responsibility now because I'm a father, and I make sure that my kids, the only thing that I want for them is that for them to have such a strong core, such a strong sense of self-worth and significance that comes from their character and not from the outside world. Once you have that, I think you can battle anything that you have a force field then, and you can battle anything that's thrown at you. So I think that is something that inspires me, it ignites me, and getting a film like Super 30 takes that up, to the next level. It just, I think the core is still the same.
I saw you busting some Kathak moves. Are you a trained Kathak dancer?
Yeah. No, not really. I learned it for this film, and I was very happy to, learn a little bit of Kathak because it just not helped me as far as my dancing is concerned, but it also helped me my expressions wise. I feel like through this film, what I take away with me is those workshops, because I feel like I have become more expressive and I've opened up a bit because I was initially a bit shy. So yeah, I never expected that learning Kathak, like couple of workshops, would make such a huge difference.
Has he seen Love Sonia?
Not yet, but he's seen the trailer.
You have to see it. I don't know if she'll send you a link or a DVD. She's just spectacular.
Of course, I have been waiting and dying to see it. But I don't need to see it to understand how good Mrunal is as an actor, because I think I've already experienced that. I've experienced the wonder that she is in front of the camera. It is absolutely an enriching experience to have worked with her in this film. There could have not been a better cast for Supriya. And having said that, I've been hearing about the kind of waves that Love Sonia has made, and I will watch it the first thing once Super 30 is out.
Anand Kumar is passionate. There's no doubt about it. But you're a careful man. You will not put your might, your efforts, everything beyond somebody who you're not convinced about. There are two sides to the story. One is these wonderful kids and how he's changed their lives. At the other end of the spectrum, there's been a certain amount of violence against him. You're no stranger to that. Your dad was shot back in the day. What is it that struck you about this man, apart from the passion? What is it that struck you saying, I want to tell his story?
Well, first of all, that impact came from the script. I had not yet met Anand sir. I had read the script, and it had impacted me in the most powerful way imaginable. After that, I already had a vision in my head. My imagination was just running in all directions, trying to build this vision in my head even more clearly. Even I wanted to see that guy, the kind of values that I would attach to his persona, and I was already in the process of becoming him in my head. And I did not want to meet the real the real person, because I didn't want that vision to break. Because meeting him, if he's not that same guy, it would confuse it. It would become a bit of a tug of war in my head, and I didn't want anything to break that beautiful vision that I had in my head. But then, of course, there had to come a time when I had to meet him, and hesitatingly I met him. But when I met him, it was wonderful. He did the exact opposite of what I was fearing. He filled my mind and that character with even more colors, and made it even more beautiful, because he's that kind of guy. And it has been a very enriching experience to have spent time with him, chatted with him. Really wonderful man.
You know, the wives or the spouses of famous men, in particular geniuses, is not an easy life. I mean, people talk about how Ba, which is Mahatma Gandhi's wife, had so many turbulences there, and she rose above them. Likewise for the great mathematician Ramanujam, you know, his wife again had to go through a hell of a lot. So this character obviously had to bring that through. What is the part? What kind of a person is she, and how does she complement this genius mathematician?
You know, Rishi, I feel every human being needs to be in a relationship before he or she gets married, because that relationship teaches you what you exactly are or who you exactly want to be. And I feel I'm so glad to play this character, because what happens is you always try to find out who you are, but the fact that you get to know who you are from someone else, like for example, if my boyfriend says that, Mrunal, I want you to be the best, and I will make sure that I work hard for my love of my life, and even though I know I'm a little hesitant about my passion, but you know, there's this some little push that you keep getting every now and then, which is very important. And I feel that one small push or love or appreciation, the fact that Supriya appreciates all the achievements of Anandji, which is very, it's magical, you know. It somehow, like whenever I see Anand and Supriya on screen together, I feel like, oh my god, this is that old school romance, this is this teenage love, you know, a haath pakadna, you know, just to tell him that yes, I want you to be the best, I want you to achieve everything. That khwahish, that wish, one wish of yours, you know. As Supriya, I have learned so many things, talking about only relationships. She's this one colorful bindas ladki. Imagine in the song she's introducing Anandji to her father. Like, what guts, man. Like in 2002, and you know, it's based in that time frame. So she's amazing, this girl, but for her the priority is family. Typical Indian girl. Yes.
Lovely. You know, your childhood friend from Juhu, Kunal Kapoor, was in a motion picture a couple of weeks ago where he was playing a teacher. And I did this wonderful interview with him where he said that after playing a teacher, his love, admiration and respect for the teachers in his life has suddenly just gone manifold through the roof. You seem to be going through a bit of that, because, you know, your grandfather, you know, a couple of other people you've mentioned, like somebody who helped you through your Haklana. So just the fact that you played this teacher and, you know, these feelings have come into you.
Your question was what?
How, after playing a teacher, have you come to respect and admire your own teachers? Has Super 30 led to that?
In a way, yes. The space the germ that I caught on in this film, and which has inspired me, which I think will inspire people in the audience as well, is that, you know, there are two sides of the spectrum. One is the one at one end of the spectrum. There are our children, and when I say children, I mean all of us who are in the state of growth, who want to grow, who want to hope, who want to dream, and they are lost, but they want to dream. They have hope. So at one end of the spectrum, we have them. This film, and what I want to tell them is to dream. You hope, you dream. And at the end of the other side of the spectrum are the people who can contribute to those dreams, the teachers, the enablers, the people who can empower them, the people who can find those channels, those roads to make it possible for them. So it inspires both sides of the spectrum. It inspires the children to dream the impossible, and it's inspiring the enablers to contribute, to share. There are a lot of people, Hrishi, that I see who have become very, very successful in their lives, but are scared of sharing their secrets. They think it's a secret, the things that they have used to become who they are. They really should introspect, get them to the forefront and share it with others. What did I do that made me who I am? What are the devices or the thought processes that I used? These are the things that we need to share as a community, and then make that community, of teachers and students. We all somewhere at some point at our lives, in fact at every point of our lives, we are either being a student or a teacher. We are either learning or we are imparting or channelizing what we know. So in some way or the other, we are always playing one of those two roles in our lives, and this film empowers both those sides of us.
You want to shout out to a teacher who really enabled you in the way that Hrithik is just talking about?
Yes, I have two teachers. One, her name is Vinuta ma'am. She used to teach us physics, but at the same time, she was the person who always pushed me to take up football, because I really wanted to play football, but I had pressure from home because I would go home all dirty and mummy se daat padti thi and all that stuff. But she was the one who convinced my parents that yes, playing football is also important for a student, so that so I want to say thank you first of all, because I was so happy even to reach to zonals and then district level. It was amazing. Then second teacher, there's this sir called John. In 4th standard, I was in St. Joseph Convent High School, Jalgaon. I used to hate studying. I really used to hate studying. But what he taught me was, if, for example, if there is an answer and there are 4 points or 5 points, just take the initial letters and make it a favorite word. For example, P for, say, phosphorus. So, P, then A. Then, we used to form a word called pani puri, and then just fill in the blanks. So this was a technique, and I was like so fond of the way he used to teach. And then suddenly I started loving history and geography, because it was all pani puris and golgappas and chocolates and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed. He taught me how to enjoy whatever you're doing. So yeah.
There's a fascinating thing you just said 5 minutes ago in another interview, and it just shook me. And you said you're at the stage where you want to create obstacles for yourself. You cleared all those obstacles in the early part of your career. You became this huge movie star, to the point that you're happy that Tiger's doing this other film, because those are obstacles that you need to surmount. I think that's really, really fantastic. There must have been lots of challenges in Super 32 that you had to climb over. What were those obstacles that you faced in playing this part?
Well, to answer your question directly, none. There were no obstacles. There was, in fact, it's such a paradox. The paradox is that these kind of films where I am driven so powerfully by an emotion that has been imbibed from the script into me. I'm driven so highly by that everything else is just a physical manifestation of that emotion and that fuel and that drive. And that is very, very easy. It's really, really easy. It's just when I say easy, I don't mean that you're not standing for 12 hours, or you're not sweating, or you're not searching, or you're not confused.
Or picking up the Bhojpuri, for example.
Or learning a dialect, and you're really, really applying yourself to things. But that application is joy. The application is joy because you know where you're coming from that emotion that has been impacted you, and now you have to transmutate that into a product that will give the audience the same feeling that the script gave me. So whatever I'm doing is just that. I want the audience to feel what I felt when I read the script, and that's my job. That's the job of the entire process of filmmaking, the application becomes very easy because you're not deciding things. Dilemma in life is just is indecision. That's true dilemma. When you're confused, you can't decide between two opposing thoughts to do or not to do. But when you know what to do and you're just now have to channelize things, your hair, your dialect, your clothes, you're empowered, and it's a powerful motion. It's like you're a rocket in your head, and you've set the coordinates of the target, and now you're just getting their full force, and it's beautiful.
Beautifully
If I may
put.
add to that, well, this is Hrithik Roshan shooting in 45 degrees without complaining, with so many people around putting makeup on, and still he's saying it was easy. Hats off to you, man.
Last few questions. A travel destination that you went to that really blew your mind off late. I saw you went diving with the kids. Where was that?
Diving was in Maldives, but one place that I went recently, I think. I had a really good time. I don't know which one to pick though. I'm a traveler by heart. So me and my kids, we keep saying that we're not tourists, we're travelers. And Santorini, I'd pick that right now. Because that's
What's so beautiful about it?
what's beautiful. The colors, the whites, the blues, the simplicity of it, and yet it's so bright and beautiful. I love it.
You.
I just went to Vienna, and it's one city which is so poetic, which is so romantic. I attended this. What I loved about the city was the vibe and the architect and the classical Mozarts and the operas. Oh my God. The moment I was back, I was like, oh, and everybody was like, Mrunal, please stop it. I know you went to Vienna, but I was like in awe. I would love to go there again.
We're doing something called Heal the World. Afroz Shah is cleaning Warsaw Beach. Afroz Shah is a UN ambassador. He's cleaning Warsaw Beach of all the plastic. Afroz Shah.
Where's he from?
He's in India. He's the guy who lives in Warsaw. So he's cleaning Warsaw Beach of all the plastic, and the plastic just keeps coming back. What can we do to save the environment? What's happening in the Roshan household? Are you doing anything special to save the planet?
Well, I don't use plastic in my life. And I think what we need to do is exactly what you're doing right now. You're talking about it. And you asked a question, and I'm through my answer and through this whole moment, the awareness will be created even more. So it's a drop in the ocean, but these drops are important. You need to talk about it more and make people more aware. And that's it.
What are you doing to save
We
them?
have been a part of these Afro's campaigns, and we always run for the ocean, and by the end of the run we make sure that we try to clean up the beach. I met this fantastic person called SC Johnson in the US, and he also runs a similar campaign in the US. So I really want SC Johnson to come to India, and if we can make sure that we clean every Sunday, we run and then clean the beach for say half an hour. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Lovely. We're doing something called Run with Radio 1. Your cardio routine. Do you run on the treadmill outdoors? What is your running routine? Do you jog? Do you walk?
My cardio routine as of now is not so much of running right now. I am doing a lot of CrossFit. So a lot of the battle ropes and actually it's not much of anything right now, if you ask me. That's why I'm struggling, because my film is in post-production and there's just no time for anything. But usually what I do is I do about half an hour of cardio in the morning, and I do a 25-minute cardio right after my strength training in the evening. And mostly it's either the elliptical or the treadmill. And if I have a chance to be outdoors, then nothing is better than a run.
My last question, what's your favorite decade and why? Are you a 60s kind of guy, 70s kind of guy, 80s kind of guy, 90s kind of guy, or now kind of guy?
Oh, wow. When music is concerned, I think I traverse the entire spectrum. I enjoy music that we have now, but when something plays from the 80s, it kind of tugs at the heartstrings in a way that nothing else can. So yeah,
Thanks a lot, man. Love you, and can't wait to watch Subhadra.
thank you very much. Hope you like it.
My last question to you: what's your favorite decade and why?
Well, I think I'm like yesterday I was watching Waqt with my father. It's a 1975 film, and I felt like, oh my God, I wish I was born in the era of Sharmila Tagore and could share my, the frame with her. Then I realized, oh my God, Madhumati is also my favorite film. And then Main Prem Ki Diwani was one of my favorite films, which is in the 90s. So I mean, I don't know. I'm a confused person. Like, I wish I was.
Through all the decades.
Decades, yeah.
Thank you, Mrunal. Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hrishi.